Welcome back to Inside the Distance. UFC Shanghai is in the books, and while this card didn't have the wild chaos some fans might have expected, it still delivered some pretty memorable performances, big storylines, and honestly, changed the direction for a few fighters' careers along the way.
Yeah, it wasn't like nonstop fight of the year stuff, but there were moments that stood out for sure. I mean, especially that main event, Johnny Walker pulling off a massive upset over Zhang Mingyang in front of that Shanghai crowd. If you want to talk about drama, man, the air just went out of that building when he won.
Right? Zhang came in with a 12 fight, first round finish streak. The guy had all this fire behind him. The arena was electric, like everyone was just waiting for another one of his quick KOs. But Walker did the exact opposite of what people expected. Hung back, played it, patient, took some heavy shots, and then totally put the pressure on in round two.
Dude, those calf kicks, nasty. You saw something instantly change with Zhang, like his leg just stopped cooperating after one of those. Walker jumps on top, gets the ground and pound, and suddenly all those cheers just vanish. Stunned silence. You love to see it if you're a Johnny Walker fan.
And I gotta say, I watched Walker train about 6 months after that injury, and there were folks saying he's never gonna be the same, but he looked different, hungrier. For him to show up after all that, claim a performance of the night bonus, man, you could see how much it meant. I think he called it the hardest job in the world in the post-fight. Kind of makes you root for the guy, even if you didn't before.
Switching gears, the co-main was a bit of a different flavor, right? Less about one punch changing a fight, more about Sterling just kind of dominating. Aljamain Sterling versus Brian Ortega, except it was, a 153-pound catch weight because Ortega missed weight again.
Yeah, and it showed. Ortega did not look like himself at all. He looked a little flat, didn't really have that bounce. Meanwhile, Sterling, man, it was like a textbook performance. He had steady pressure, smart striking, never really let Ortega get comfortable or into any rhythm.
5 rounds of just like complete control. Judges had it 50-45 across the board. That's about as clear as it gets. And then Sterling gets on the mic and calls out Volkanovski. I mean, look, after seeing that, hard to argue he doesn't deserve it.
And Ortega's situation is rough, man. 4 losses in his last 5 now. When these guys miss weight, man, it's tough, throws you off, changes how you prep. But honestly, he just didn't look like he had anything for Aljo.
Now, my favorite storyline of the night wasn't even on the main card. It was Charles Johnson fighting Loner Kavanaugh, undefeated up to that point, right? Johnson was getting kind of carved up until that second round.
Yeah, Johnson was in deep, and then just, boom, massive right hand. Puts Kavanaugh out cold. Not just a comeback, that's a save your career moment. And the story afterward hit me. Dude's in the red financially, borrowing money for the camp, expecting a kid soon, and then comes away with a $50,000 bonus. Changes everything.
People forget sometimes it ain't just about wins and losses. For a guy like Johnson, it literally means keeping your dream going, putting food on the table, wild stuff. And honestly, that knockout will be replayed a lot, I bet.
Yeah, and it wasn't just him. We had those quick finishes too. Kyle Daukaus with a 43-second knockout, Yiza came out of nowhere with a 37-second finish, and Uran Sadabaldiev with that Ezekiel choke. Not a stacked event, but like those blink and you'll miss it moments. That's why you watch the whole card.
So now with the dust settling, you got to look at what these results mean for the next big fights, right? Walker's got to be in line for a big-name contender next, maybe a title eliminator if he keeps this up. Sterling, if he gets that Volk fight, huge. But you also got these new names like Johnson suddenly back in the mix, or someone like Yija who could build momentum after a quick KO.
Exactly. Some of these undercard performances are going to bump people up the ladder fast. And now you've got a few dark horse names out there. Guys who aren't just filling the card. There may be one good win away from a top 15 fight. If you noticed, a lot of people started switching up their game plans at Shanghai too. Plenty of patience, smarter striking, more urgency once they had their openings. If I'm someone prepping for one of those guys next, I'm watching this card real close for strategic tweaks.
And that's what'll make the next few cards way more interesting. There's something about seeing these fighters take what worked in Shanghai and tweak their approach for the next time out. Like, is Walker going to double down on that patience? Does Johnson build on his momentum? Lots to look forward to.
Hey, and before we wrap it, if you want to rep your favorite fighters from Shanghai or just want to look the part on fight night, check the link in our description. That's where you can grab official UFC gear from Fanatics. They've got walkout kits, tees, hoodies, you name it.
Supporting your fighters, supporting us, it really helps keep these episodes coming, folks. Plus, I just like having an excuse to add another fight tee to my rotation, man.
So yeah, UFC Shanghai might not be all-timer status, but with Walker's redemption, Sterling's dominant win, and Johnson's knockout saving his dream, there's plenty for fight fans to chew on. Make sure you're subscribed, check the Fanatics link, and let us know what moment stood out to you from the card.
That's it from us, guys. Really appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back breaking down the next big event, so stay locked in. Until then, keep your distance inside the distance. See ya, Derek.
Catch you next time, Jack. Thanks, everybody.